Now we sit in the sand holding hands, watch the sunset over the land, and I'm glad that the bright...
Hey, welcome everybody to Flowfood's Permaculture and Resilience free online course. Today we are in session 13 and we are talking about garden beds. We will talk about strawberry gardening, we will talk about keyhole gardening, banana circle and spot planting. So we really hope you enjoy this session and ensure that you also have a look in the first session that is covering. Last week we covered no dig garden, double dig garden, the lasagna bed techniques and also hugelculture. And today we will go for some more techniques, and as I already said, we will cover keyhole garden beds, we'll cover spot planting, and we will cover strawberry gardening and the banana circle. So yeah, stay tuned and enjoy the video. All the garden beds we already showed in part 1 of the garden bed session or in today's sessions are following the same principle, and it's again using the least destructive method while increasing soil fertility. While understanding the different ways of creating garden beds, including its benefits and disadvantages, will save you a lot of energy, support the plants to develop and increase your yield. By understanding the system you are working with while simultaneously implementing fitting elements, you can strengthen and establish ecosystems. Your effort will help to enrich soil fertility, create habitat, and reduce the amount of necessary maintenance. In order to choose the right method, it's important to understand the system you're working with. We're looking for methods that are balancing human needs and the regeneration of ecosystems. So we try to work with nature. We are mindful and aware that we try to change as little as possible to get our needs met by the ecosystem. Besides, it's also about efficient use of energy and resources. We want to find a way that requires a relatively low input of human energy and resources. Or to say it in other words, least change for greatest effect. Yeah, so let's look into the session and let's explore some garden beds together.
Okay, one technique is strawberry gardening, where you actually plant right into the strawberry and this becomes your growing medium. So here we already did it, which looks a little bit like Rosella to me. You can just put the seeds directly. This is a mix of Rosella and sunflower. So there is a little bit of compost sprinkled on top, and you just put your seeds, cover it gently and give it a water. Which is one way to use the strawberry as a growing medium. Another thing is that you could already put plants or seedlings inside. Just get your plant out of the bag. Pretty dry. We didn't have rain for a long time. So this is a butterfly piece, and you kind of bring it in, and you can even sprinkle a little bit of compost, and then it can hopefully climb up here. Is that straw needs a lot of nitrogen to decompose, so you might want to plant some nitrogen fixing plants around like legumes. Or what you could also do is soak this straw bale in urine for a while, so it kind of absorbs all the nitrogen in the urine, and then it should be all set. Okay, another great way of establishing a garden bed, especially if you have poor soils, is spot planting, where you actually create fertile pockets for the plant you want to put in the ground. So you want to kind of scrape off all the mulch, whatever this might be for you, and create a little pocket where you can add some good compost. This is a mix of compost, rice husk ash, a little bit of cocoa peat, like all this good stuff. So we're grabbing the papaya and adding it into this fertile pocket. some of the good mix on top. Really press it down and then mulch around it and add some water. So what actually happens is that the plant has all the nutrients it needs in the beginning, and then it will spread out its roots, create some root exudates that attract bacteria and all the good stuff that will help to fertilize your soil. Okay, so you can either do this, as I said, in a place where you already established maybe a layering bed or whatever. So another way of using this technique is to plant, for example, a fruit tree in the middle and create a little donut around where you can also add compost and then plant some other tree on top of the mound that will also add to the fertility of the soil. Another technique is the banana circle. So this is a very popular permaculture technique. It combines a way to get rid of any kitchen compost or grey water, and it feeds actually all the plant-loving, water-loving plants like a banana. Ooh la la. So what you do, you dig a hole which should be ideally 2 meters wide and 1 meter deep, and then you add all the kitchen scraps that you want to compost in there and cover it with straw or any brown material. Unfortunately, we have Bobby around here who likes to scrape off all the mulch. Bobby, which is the chicken or the rooster. So you can see we are adding fruit scraps, and our grey water system goes in here as well. So you can see that pipe. Oh, nice. In front of the pipe there's a bunch of earthworms, which is lovely. So you can see they love it. So if you're setting up a banana circle and consider it to use it for your grey water system, make sure you just use natural soap or dishwashing liquid. I found 2 spoons. Another important point is that you can see the mound where the banana is planted in. So this mound actually comes from all the soil that we were digging out to create that banana circle. And here comes Bobby. Nice.
Here we see a classical example of a keyhole garden bed. So why keyhole? Because you have a path that is not going through, so you have more space for planting and everything, but you have a perfect access to all areas of your garden bed depending from where you're coming, right? So you don't have to step on the soil. This is very important, and it looks a little rough at the moment. So what we did before was like taking these native plant out. It's on sap, so it's edible. It's pretty nice and it's fast growing, so within 2 weeks it will be back. And that's also something we need to take into account when we start planting. So for the baby plants we need to give them a competitive advantage so they actually are able to survive. So some of you asked us, can you use all these techniques only in rural area, or is it also possible in urban areas? This is a nice example that even in hugelkultur, where you would say this is normally something you would have on the land and not in urban areas, is possible in urban areas. So what we did, we covered it a little, right? So it looks like a normal garden bed, it looks like a normal raised garden bed, but the technique we used is hugelkultur. So we worked with the branches, we worked with all the layering methods, so pretty basic hugelkultur, but it does not look like a hugelkultur. But that doesn't matter anything for the plants, so the plants will thrive and take the best out of it. And for me it will be like less maintenance because I don't need to water it so much, and fertility will stay high for a long time. So this is a funny thing, so just covering something up works. And this is basically true for all of the techniques we just showed you. So just look and figure out what works and how you can make it fitting to your area. Great, so I hope you enjoyed this session, and yeah, subscribe to our channel, and yeah, if you like it, just give up a thumbs up, and looking forward to you and our next video. And the next one will be about how to do a sheet layering garden bed step by step. So we really go into detail. Here we were more covering up the entire basics and what is possible, and tomorrow, or like in the next session, it will be way more in depth, and we will figure out how to do it.
Well, hello, early morning sunshine, shining in through the shutters of my window. Well, I'm glad I can see you again. It's been a long time, my very old friend. Let's sit and talk for a while.